Today marks the start of National Missing Persons Week. Today also marks the 14-year anniversary of the disappearance of a 23-year-old local college student. She was enjoying a night on the town when suddenly she vanished. Her mother saying in her eyes, more could have been done to find her daughter. KETK's Casey Koviak breaks down what happened in the disappearance of Brandi Wells back in 2006.
If somebody does have her, are they taking care of her? But I'm not going to give up until I find my child.
A message which echoes more than a decade later.
There's a very good possibility that she is still alive out there, and I don't want to give up on her until I know for sure.
23-year-old Brandi Wells was studying to become a teacher at Trinity Valley Community College. While she lived in Brownsboro, she often visited her mother in Tyler.
She came in, she changed clothes and said that she was going to the club with some friends. Well, I just assumed that she meant the Electric Cowboy, which is right down the street from our house.
That would be the last time she would see her daughter.
So I thought, okay, she was with friends. You know, she doesn't drink much, so maybe she got a little tipsy, went back to somebody's house to stay instead of driving home. Good girl.
The next morning, Brandi was still not home, but Tant didn't think much of it. It wasn't until that evening, though, she knew something was wrong.
Started calling her her phone, and it went straight to voicemail every single time. It was unusual for her not to be answering her phone, so that Friday, I decided to call the police.
It was then she would discover Brandi was further away from home than she knew.
And as I was talking to him, my youngest daughter came up and was listening to the conversation, and when I say that she went to the club and he asked which club and I said the Electric Cowboy, my daughter said no, mother, she was going to Graham Central Station in Longview.
More than 45 minutes away in an unfamiliar town. Officers with the Longview Police Department at the time began the investigation, starting with the surveillance tapes from the nightclub. Brandi's relatives were called to the station to help identify her.
The first thing out of my daughter's mouth was, that can't be Brandi. The way Michelle talked to me was that the police kind of pressured her and saying, you know, this has got to be her. That's the time her license was swiped. We've got to get it on the 6 o'clock news.
2 images were sent out to the public. Tant, unable to be there due to family health issues, would view them several weeks later. That's when she noticed this.
I was like, those are not the clothes that Brandi left the house in. Where are the clothes that Brandi had on?
It was said for 6 weeks, the girl whose photo had been sent out to the public running on the news was not Brandi.
Brandi walking through the door 10 minutes before this girl in the exact same clothes that I had showed the police that she was in.
The surveillance footage shows Brandi entering Graham Central Station near South Longview around 10:36. 2 minutes later, she can be seen checking in at the counter.
In the club, people were telling the police that Brandi was asking people if they had a couple of bucks that she could borrow for gas.
She was inside the club for nearly 2 hours. Just before 12:30, she can be seen walking past the counter and out the front door. Following behind her, a man in a white cowboy hat.
As he walks left, you can see him look over towards Brandi, and then you can see Brandi's feet at this point. You saw her turn and walk towards him.
It's unknown if the man in the cowboy hat was found and questioned.
I don't think Brandi ever left that parking lot from the club by herself.
The next day, her car was found on the side of Interstate 20 near FM 2087 between Longview and Kilgore. It would be days before police would link it to Brandi. A gas can not belonging to Brandi found in the trunk. Inside the car, all her belongings and her ex-boyfriend's cell phone. The one thing missing, her personal cell phone.
On Brandi's phone, a week after she disappears, you see all of these phone calls, one right after another.
Police were able to find and question 3 men who had used Brandi's phone. Reports say one of them failed a polygraph test. However, all 3 were eventually released.
He claims that he's walking down the road and he hears this beeping sound, and he looks over and there's her cell phone laying up against a tree.
The driver's side seat had also been adjusted for someone taller than Brandi. But with the car being there for so long, it's unknown if there's a connection. Community search parties were conducted in South Longview, close to the Graham Central Station. During one of those searches, neighbors in the area would send a warning.
She is here. They're holding her against her will. They're keeping her drugged up, and they're prostituting her out. If the police will come by at this time at night, they will find her. From what I understand, the police went there during the day.
After months of trying to find Brandi, the trail turned cold. Over the years, new information would come in, most notably a phone call saying Brandi was alive in Kansas City. But another false lead. Brandi's mother says despite this, she's not giving up on her daughter.
I always hear her in the back of my mind, Mommy, I'm waiting for you, come get me. You know, come find me, help me. You hear that all the time. It stays in your heart that you know that she needs your help. And you don't know how to help her, what to do. There's nothing to go on. Another fear is that she's laying in somebody's field. You know, bones just scattered everywhere, and she deserved better than that. She deserved a burial. She deserved to be put to rest if she is gone. But a missing person is a human being that has been ripped out of somebody's life that leaves a big hole.
KETK and Fox 51 News have launched a digital series. It's called Vanished, Missing in East Texas. On our website, you can find the stories of nearly 100 unsolved missing person cases from our area. Along with each name, we have posted their picture and their story. Please help us share their information and possibly bring closure to their families. In the studio, Casey Koviak, KETK News.
All this week, we will be featuring different cases from the more than 80 missing persons all over East Texas.